So how expensive is London exactly? Well, in this video, we're going to be checking it out. We're going to discover not just the top 10 postcodes of London, but the top 10 streets. So pull out your checkbooks or your debit cards for the nouveau rich and see how much your funds will take to get you into one of these most exclusive streets. Hi everyone, Ugo Renze here. Thanks for checking out another episode of my YouTube channel. As you know, I'm with Onyx Property Team in Keller Williams. I specialize as a buying agent here in London. If it's your first time on my YouTube channel, welcome. I hope you'll consider subscribing because we put out weekly videos about the London property market and living in this incredible city. Now, in today's video, we all know that London is so incredibly expensive, but how expensive is it exactly? Well, we're going to discover the top 10 postcodes, what makes them special, as well as the top 10 streets. So let's dive in. According to this list compiled by Savills for the national newspaper, it was based on £5 million plus property transactions that took place in London from January 2017 to April 2021. So a fairly good body of data. It ranks SW1 as the #1 most expensive postcode in the entire nation. And actually all top 10 of these postcodes are for the nation, but they all sit in London. The SW1 postcode picks up Knightsbridge, Belgravia, St. James's, Westminster, Victoria, Pimlico, parts of Sloane Square of Chelsea. There were 253 £5 million transactions, representing 17% of the total figure. Next up is the W1 postcode, which picks up Mayfair, Marylebone, Fitzrovia, and Soho. There were 220 transactions of £5 million or more, and that represented 15%. To round out the rest of the top 5, it was SW3, which is Chelsea and Knightsbridge, with 160 transactions. W8, which is Kensington and Holland Park, with 156 transactions, and W11, which is Notting Hill, Ladbroke Grove, South, and part of Holland Park, with 96 transactions. You can see here the rest of the postcode areas. I'll highlight NW8, which is the primary postcode for St. John's Wood and Primrose Hill, and a small part of Marylebone, as well as NW3, which is for Hampstead, Belsize Park, and Primrose Hill. According to Lonrest, for the period of February to April 2022, SW1 had an average price per square foot of $14.73, which was a 4.4% increase from the same period in 2021. Properties sold in the last 3 months achieved an average price of $1.516 million for flats and $5 million for houses. The highest property type were 3-bedroom houses, which achieved average sold prices of £1,900 per square foot. What about the most expensive streets of London? 10 London streets were ranked as the most expensive postcodes in the country, as new analysis finds that there are nearly 1,800 more streets across Britain where the average home price is valued at £1 million or more compared with a year ago. Some 11,673 streets in September 2021 had an average property price of £1 million or more, which was 1,782 more than the 9,891 £1 streets in September 2020, according to Zoopla. The southeast of England accounts for about half of that increase, with 942 more £1 million streets having been created over the last year, compared with only 262 in London. So here are the top 10 most expensive streets in the whole of London. At number 1, and holding steady for years, is Kensington Palace Gardens in W8, where the average property price is a whopping £29 million. Let's just say £30 million. Funny, according to the December 2020 figures, the average price for Kensington Palace Gardens was actually $35 million. So the value has actually come down. Royal residences, diplomatic embassies, and homes of the incredibly wealthy are what exist on this street. Homes rarely come on the market. Next up, holding steady in the number 2 position, is Courtenay Avenue in Highgate, N6, where the average property price was £19 million. At number 3 is Grosvenor Crescent in Belgravia, that SW1X postcode, average price of £17 million. And then number 4, Ilchester Place in Holland Park, W14, with an average property price of £15 million. Rounding out the top 5 is the Boltons in Chelsea, SW10, with an average property price of £14 million. And as you can see, here's the rest of the top 10. Of course, throughout these areas, you're going to find some of the most stately, opulent homes you will find, proper mansions, which is hard to find in a relatively tight city, and really just luxury at another level. So what did you think of the top 10 most expensive postcodes and top 10 streets? Do you live on any one of those streets or around them? I'm sure you're probably enjoying life if you do. But if you do have any questions about living in any parts of London or thinking about relocating, please make sure to reach out. I'm always happy to have a conversation and help you understand what you're going to need to do to find your perfect piece of London. And make sure, if you want to know more about London on a daily basis, follow me on Instagram at Onyx London Life, where I post daily about what I get up to in London and showing off this incredible city. I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure to check out my other videos on my YouTube channel, where I share great tips and information about the London property market and living in this fabulous city. So that's Ugo Arenze with Onyx Property Team and Keller Williams. Bye for now.